So revealing your carry early isn't a big deal when you're going to have to reveal your carry first normally anyways.
Yep.
And that's the position TNC are in.
Aster very early here, moving into their extra time.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what they want to do.
Might be looking to pick up the ET, like the last of the 3 super strong fours.
He did mention
Go
he
for
likes
Lich.
playing Rubik. Look at the Lich for now. I think he mentioned Rubik and Spirit in his interview as the 2 heroes he likes playing.
Yeah.
And TNC will get Beastmaster plus Tiny.
I mean,
Okay.
it's a lot of early game
Good
pressure.
opening. Yes, strong lanes, early game pressure. This suggests TNC are going to be playing that fast-paced game that we hope to see from them.
So it seems good, like a good opening here from TNC to actually play their play style. Lich, not going to reveal too much as of yet. Do you like the Lich, though, for Aster? A pretty common pick right now. We've seen it. Yesterday, I feel like it managed to get picked in second phase quite a bit, but for the most part, we've seen it as a first phase pick.
Yeah, you can't really dislike a Lich pick because it's just that. It's a Lich. It's a good 5 position.
They could try Lich Jug if they wanted to. They just go back for the Terrorblade straight away.
Yeah,
It's a bit scary though. Like if that tiny beast is offline together, this Terrorblade is gonna have a somewhat rough time. Lots of pressure coming out of those two.
I mean, TB's was picked up quite a bit against the Beastmaster, at least of old, because of how much physical damage he puts out.
Yeah.
So it still feels like an okay option for that, even though we're not seeing the Wild Axes anymore played.
I mean, the lane is, gonna be okay. You have the Lich armor, so it's probably gonna be fine. You're not looking to win your safe lane anyway. Just kind of look to survive it and get the pressure from your mid and off lane. So
Think of jungle later on.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll see what Aster picks there.
How do you beat aggression in the laning phase? Do you beat it with aggression, or right now, if you're Aster, do you go, oh, it looks like TNC wants to play that fast style, let's turtle up?
You can do both, kind of. Like, it's like if they want to fight it, they could get like a Lich Rubik TB lane and actually tri-lane versus it and look to crush it. We're seeing a lot more tri-lanes right now, so I think that option does work. Or you take the let's win our other lanes.
Yeah.
You just can't do like neither. You have to make sure you either guarantee and secure TB's farm, so you give him a tri-lane, you crush that lane, get an okay mid 1v1, so mid goes okay, and then your off lane maybe suffers. But if you do that, or you just win the other 2 lanes. Do one or the other.
How quickly do you feel like Aster does need to commit inside of the draft?
It'll come down to whatever they 3rd and 4th pick and how they want to approach it. Like if you want to do the tri-lane, then you get the Rubik, you get maybe an ET for the tri-lane, you get something that's going to give you a solid stun or initiating spell to allow your TB Lich to get kills.
Okay, so we'll have to be keeping an eye on that on the side of Team Aster. What do we like so far with TNC? Is there anything in particular, Black, that you think they're going to be looking for to keep this aggression?
I mean, they're definitely going to look to the last pick, the mid. And I mean, are they just going to pick up a Jug? Jug is
Against
solid.
TB.
I mean, we just saw it win, although I didn't like it too much. But
They banned the
Does
OG
that really
themselves.
signify anything, though, the way that it did win in the last game?
I mean, not really. It kind of. I mean,
I think it showed Jug is just a stable carry that can work.
yeah. I mean,
Even in a
Jug with
unfavorable
6
matchup.
slots,
Yeah,
like an Omni Slash with 6 slots is still gonna kill a TB.
Yep.
It's just the way you get there is very different if you're countered, obviously. But yeah, Gabby has a lot of heroes. We might even just see like a Timbersaw come out because you have this Beastmaster pushing power already.
Yeah,
So
Timber's always a scary one. When you can get a Timber in a dangerous slot in the draft, it can just win you the game, as we've seen earlier today. So
yeah.
2 Timbersaw wins today in the 3 games we've had.
Okay. Timbersaw definitely looking like a solid pick today, then.
They're taking a lot of bonus time, both teams in their bans.
It's also TNC, and it's SEA Dota. The good old Tinker pick could always come out as something. Tinker with Beastmaster, very strong combo. I don't think you're a big fan of the Tinkers, but
It depends, man. Like some people are just amazing on it. Like I bet usually is, but you get caught out once or twice and you just lose with the hero. That's the only reason why I don't like him. Feels very unstable.
You get punished on it very easy.
Yeah, but you need to be like you need to have a perfect game to really crush on a Tinker. Like you can't die twice in late game or just lose.
Is there any way you can pick around that at all if Tinker does come in? We are going to see that Rubik pick, though, come in from TNC.
Good.
bit of a block pick as well. That's when they see there, one of Bavoka's most played heroes, so he's not going to get a chance to play Rubik this game.
Position 3
or
or 4.
more likely, maybe.
Yeah.
Aster's played. I think it was their most played at this tournament. They had it in 3 of their games. So,
I mean, most of
That's
China likes Sven a lot.
yeah, reliable stun, good kind of turnaround defensive hero.
Quite tanky as a support as well.
Yeah. So we'll find out now what TNC's probably carry is going to be, or at least one of their 2 cores.
Yep. I think though the new Rubik, or like rather the Sven, the Rubik is really good against the new Sven, because whether you steal the Warcry or the stun, you're really happy.
Yeah. This is where I feel like TNC likes to pick heroes like Weaver. For whatever reason, Gabby, like one of his favorite heroes, is just busting out a good old Weaver.
Yeah, I mean Weaver's not bad. They don't really have a catch for him.
Yeah.
Obviously, they can't pick the Rubik anymore.
It's just one of those carries you can pick now, knowing that your opponent's going to get to respond to it, where you don't feel like you're too scared of anything. It's good for hunting down like the Lich in the back lines. It's just annoying.
Morphling. Now
Morphling,
that's a bit more interesting.
the good old Morph versus TB. Yeah.
It's a bit weak in the lane, but Aster doesn't have the strongest lanes right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid of a Sven +1.
What are the offlaners you'd want to pick to pressure a Morphling now?
Centaur, not the best. Tide is banned already. Tiny obviously already picked up. There's not too much that can really pressure the Morphling too much, I think, with the together with the Sven. Sven doesn't strike me as a particularly strong laner. Yeah.
They could also pick their mid now because they've got the 2 back.
And they could still put Morph middle as well, of course.
Yeah,
if they wanted to
that's
do
where Morph always feels really good in these positions, because if they have to now pick a mid and an offlaner that can both match up against Morph.
I know, that's a good hero against Morph.
I was thinking what's going to pair with the Sven, and Darkseer Sven works well. A lot of lane pressure.
Forgot about the Darkseer. The double Iron Shell plus Stormbolt can really can even kill
But you can't leave Darkseer alone there. I've seen Morphling destroy these Darkseer lanes where he just gets every deny, every last hit. If you secure his lane early on, Darkseer is just out of the game.
I mean, if you leave him 2v1 for like even just a minute, this Morph is going to be too strong. Have like a Wraith Band or something, you can't pressure him anymore.
Yeah.
You definitely need to dual lane right from the beginning. But that's what we said at the beginning. Like
But
both
if you're
safe
doing
lanes.
that, then you're not securing TB's
Yeah.
farm. So it's like, do you pressure Morphling or secure TB's farm?
Both safe lanes are gonna eat a lot of pressure.
Yep. So now mid lane, Pugno is one of those cores that can do pretty well against Morphling.
There's still OD.
It's
No,
banned,
OD's banned as well.
So
Yeah, okay. Not much left for mid lane then.
Kunkka maybe?
Kanka banned already as well.
Oh, Kunkka's banned, okay. Oh, that was the first ban, yeah, you're right.
So with Kunkka being banned, what are you looking for here?
I mean, I think it could still be like a TA for TNC if the matchup is suitable. Aster is lacking.
Not a big fan of TA into these heroes, though. Even if the matchup's good, you're against Darkseer, TB Lich. Like,
It's not great.
you don't really want to play TA into those heroes right now.
Yeah. What else could they like? On Aster.
Yeah, the Husker's there. That's the one that kind of stands out a bit to me for either team. It's just like, it seems more like it's become more of just a stable mid laner in a lot of matchups.
Yeah, TNC might just Tinker if... Like, so far Tinker looks really good.
You mentioned some of the weaknesses of the Tinker. You think with the Morphling now, Tinker would feel a little bit more safe, would be a little bit less greedy?
I mean, Tinker is definitely a very greedy hero. And... yeah. I actually thought they would pick up the puck because they needed like AoE lockdown, but I'm not convinced of the hero too much anymore. Because right now they lack a bit of damage. Like if the Radiant team gets one pipe, it's going to be incredibly hard for them to kill anything.
Until, you get to the point where TB has enough items. But if he's playing catch-up and he's playing into Vlad's Crimson God, Beastmaster, whatever it may be, that in itself can be quite tricky.
So DK is banned, one of the best heroes against puck, of course.
Yep.
There's still potentially Timbersaw. They don't have too much to do with him.
I mean, they don't necessarily need to get more lockdown or control for the puck as well. Like, you've got Beastmaster, you've got Rubik Lift, you've got enough lockdown and burst to kill this puck already. I don't think you need to say, okay, let's get a mid that counters puck. Maybe you want a favorable mid matchup.
Yeah, obviously, like a TA would crush the puck, but not so great in the game.
Yeah.
They just do go for the Tinker.
Tinker, yeah.
Alright.
I feel like from the very start they were considering this. Like, you give away the TB and you have Beastmaster on your team, Tinker was always going to be a consideration for TNC.
Yeah, Tinker Beast, one of the most old school combos. You can just TP on the bird, on the boar.
Yep.
Lots of good presence. I like it.
You mentioned it was greedy. What makes you confident in the decision here?
I mean, Morph, Tinker 1v1 against puck is fine. Like, you will have a fine lane. It's just like when puck is level 6, you're a bit scared of rotations. And it might be a bit too greedy because both Morph plus Tinker could mean that you have to have a very farm-heavy early game.
Yeah.
And if you get overrun, it's very tough.
I think the good news, it's not one of those, when Abed played Tinker, it was like if Abed dies, the fight is lost. Whereas this game, you know, if for whatever reason Tinker gets caught, you've still got a Morphling there. It's not like you're all in on this Tinker.
It's not a carry
carrying you.
Sven.
Yeah, exactly.
Carry Sven.
You've got this very mobile carry that can get into the backlines, find kills, clean up. Because Tinker just chips everyone down low and low, so that's where Morphling, you know, loves those kind of games where he's got all these easy kills.
And I would argue they have a much harder time actually finding the Tinker this game. They don't have like a super clear, obvious way of getting to him.
The puck orb is like the main thing, I guess,
Yeah.
but even that's not incredible.
All right, well, it's going to be our last best of one of the day. It's an elimination match. It's TNC versus Aster. We're going to jump down to the casters and get the game started.
Thank you so much, Rich. Yep, fogged. Blood has already been spilt today, and we got a little bit more to spill before the end of it. Aster facing off against TNC. How you feeling about this one, my man? Is it as greedy as the panel was saying?
Yeah, Tinker and Morphling are definitely very greedy heroes when they're together. That being said, though, they do have Beastmaster and Tiny. I think these two heroes can put on a lot of pressure and can make the space. So we'll see how much they can do. Looking at Aster's, they've got a lot of combo, right? I mean, you've got the Darkseer Sven. Sure, it's the support Sven, so it's not like the vacuum into him doing tons of damage, but it's him for the control. Same with the Puck and the Lich. I've been seeing these Darkseers. I've just been seeing, actually, I won't even just say Darkseer, just vacuum in general being an incredibly powerful ability lately.
Yeah, Rubik was stealing it in that one game as well.
It was like turning the fights almost just because of vacuum.
We have a little bit of all chat being thrown out right at the beginning. Gabby boiling over with rage.
This is also a pretty fun one, right, too, because you look and you're like, TNC's late game is amazing. You could probably say that they're better than Aster's late game, but the one thing that you always do have to factor in is that there's a Darkseer.
Yeah.
The illusion. I've seen these illusions just kill carries by themselves, kill like majority of the team too. Morphling is one of the strongest illusions that you can get because it's pure stats. So that Morphling illusion, if he's able to get the wall on him a lot of times, could be a very big nuisance.
Yeah, and of course also you've got the inner Beast Aura that comes out from the Beastmaster. All of these things working together in concert could create some trouble for TNC as the game goes on. But
yeah, they've got the reflection that's going to give them that aura quite a lot anyway. But
true enough.
Yeah, the wall is on top too, just even more so.
And it looks like already we might see the thing that's been happening more and more often nowadays is Bobica just going to head forward with this Ion Shell, trying to find the Beastmaster in the trees, but well, they're able to kind of zone him out of getting into lane a little bit here. And we'll finally go for the TP. Bobica not quite in position to break that. And so he's just going to get to the lane. No problem at all.
Armel was able to get the D-warded mid lane. Pretty significant here. He's going to actually have vision advantage over the puck at the start. That being said, though, Lover did get the better block in the mid lane. So lately now, the better block means it's under your tower. So the way you play is you push the wave out immediately under their tower and try to make them miss as many last hits as possible.
Oh, and they're actually going to switch this up. I think Aster realizing that the Beastmaster TP, that they can't dodge this one. So going to do some pretty good damage here onto Gabby. He's trying to switch over, but this takes heck of a lot of time, and he is low HP afterwards.
They want Terrorblade versus Beastmaster because you have high armor. You don't care about this boar. You don't care about these right clicks as much that comes out, and you want your pressure lane versus the Morphling. You want to be shutting him down with your Darkseer and your Sven, and that's exactly what they did. And like you mentioned, an even better thing is the Beastmaster used TP, so they are locked in their lanes.
It looks like now the mid matchup, the thing that should be going relatively even.
Yeah.
Is there any real kill potential here at all?
6 at puck. That's the biggest one.
Okay.
6 at puck, a rotation. You shouldn't really get solo killed as a Tinker, but it's easy to get moved in on if you just get coiled, if you just make one wrong move.
And so far, so good. It's looking like at least that Morphling getting a good amount of pressure onto him, but still been able to get 4 denies already. Is Lover just going to try and do what he can, CSing against this Tinker. Still very even there. And, keeping the push back here down the bottom lane as well, forcing back Rior.
He's in the safe lane, though. That's, like we mentioned in the last game when Universe was the Tidehunter, Rior is in the safe lane. So he's level 3. He had the lane creeps in a pretty good spot. So level 3 and also has 7 last hits.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the push up over here. Looks like Ninja Boogie wanting to draw the aggro to not allow the pull there on the small camp.
Yeah, usually when you see Darkseers, it's played in the off lane. And it's like that for a reason because you can do this, creep cutting, you pull it into the creep waves and all that, and you can manipulate and put pressure on it and force the carry to play under their tower. But when you're Darkseer in the safe lane, it's a very different scenario. You can't force them to really play under their tower because he can just click them. And he's also a Morphling. with a Tiny and a Rubik. Tiny good at killing the Darkseer Ion Shell wave. Morphling incredibly good because he's ranged and high base damage.
Avalanche thrown out there, and a good amount of damage on the XXS, although the turn Stormbolt coming from Bulbaka will be able to force him back. Tim's on the Tiny, and so far it's looking like this lane swap has not really paid off to the most that I think Aster would have wanted, at least in the top lane here, where Darkseer only has 6 CS, and the lift up going on, so simultaneous kills potentially happening. Zuri drops the tree! Oh my god, sick play, and that's going to keep him alive, it looks like. Well, meanwhile, in this top lane, a good amount of damage thrown back against Ninja Boogie, and they might be able to kill off XXS. Ninja Boogie is going to drive first. So XXS drawing first blood.
Oh my, 3R with that little ironwood branch. That was great. Oh man, that was such a heads-up play there by him.
Yeah, now they're cutting down the trees. I guess that was Reor actually that cuts the tree down.
Yeah, he did.
Sylar can just easily take down that boar, but this was Metamorphosis used and no kill gained.
Yeah, I mean, they thought it would be. Most of the time it would have been just a really good play by the Beastmaster and the stand-in coming in there.
Yeah.
And we see XXS, he's not getting much up top, only level 2 on the Darkseer and only 8 last hits. It's similar as the Beastmaster, but that's a Darkseer. Very low level. The supports are actually, like Tiny's level 3 already.
Yeah, he's got to be a little bit careful. Obviously, it's a little bit tougher finding a kill onto Bulbaka, and they're going to throw out the adaptive strike as well as that avalanche, punching Mr. Darkseer, Ninja Boogie. Able to chase this one down as well. He's able to get a little bit of a juke there from XXS, but Gabby is still going to be able to run down this Darkseer, although he actually just walks up to the north. All right.
All right. Tango play. Just cuts the tree and walks up, too. And if you noticed, this is a Darkseer as vacuum at level 2, by the way.
Oh. Well,
but
that
Bulka
is
will go down.
That's Sven.
I guess they're trying to do like a 3-man. They're trying to vacuum into 3-man stun, but no surge on a Darkseer early. And in that last situation, if the Darkseer was level 3, this Ion Shell damage may have actually been enough for them to get a trade kill, but having only level 1 Ion Shell really hurting.
Well, and now that 5-minute mark, we're getting ready for the bounty runes to spawn. They have basically left Sylar alone here against Reor, and it looks like TNC possibly going to be able to get 3 runes, it looks like.
Yep. Nice for them. I see Armel also as he's trying to be as efficient as possible. He's Tinker. You don't go for laser rocket versus a puck. Stack up some camps, out farm later. So he's missing a couple last hits in the lane because of it, but he stacked that one hard camp at least for himself.
Going to be very nice. And the smoke up here as they're going to try and look for a gank maybe. It's on the same lane that they're in, and they're going to spot out Bulbaka a little bit in no man's land, and the adaptive strike, the punches. No way to take it off. The shield is going to be worn off, and with 1 or 2 more right clicks, it should be a kill for Gabby.
Killing spree for the Morphling, they switched the lane to pressure, and it's not working. That Darkseer pressure lane is not working whatsoever for Aster. But their Terrorblade is farming a bit better just in last hits than the Morph, but not kill-wise, so Morph is actually ahead in net worth.
Yeah. And right now, Tinker gets to level 6. Puck just a little ways away from it himself. Don't know if he can make any type of, if he has anybody else come in and rotate for him, if he wants to rotate to a different lane. Most likely not unless there's a dive, but.
No, they already look like they're just like screw top lane. XXS, you're on your own, you make the most of it, try to get your levels on your Darkseer. We're going to try to make moves on our supports and get wards in the jungle. I think they want to put a ward down just to watch where the Lich is farming. Or where the Tinker's going to be farming.
And Tim's spots out that Haystern is going to be picked, and they'll actually drop the coil on this one for the Tiny. Dream Coil going to wear off soon, but shouldn't be able to get out of there as they use the Illusory Orb to find the kill.
It's tanky, though.
Yeah.
Made them work for it a little bit.
Definitely.
But still has a haste rune. Was contemplating maybe going down bottom, but walks back to the mid lane, as Armel will do just maximum efficiency. Get the good positioning for your march to hit multiple camps.
So talk to me a little bit about these 2 carries, right? Very different playstyles, the Terrorblade versus the Morphling. It always feels like you have the potential to do more with Morphling in the early levels, but do you have to?
In this game, I mean, because they have like this Tinker and this Beastmaster, like maybe they probably don't really have to. And the really beautiful thing is too, is we saw in KL, we saw it displayed quite a lot, is you turning into the Terrorblade, but not just turning into Terrorblade, you do it at the same time as you morph, so you're a Morphling with that extra Terrorblade range,
right?
Which isn't supposed, it's intended, but isn't something that people initially thought that you could do.
Right.
So the Morphling overall, it's like you have a window of really high strength if you do go for that shotgun build, and the Terrorblade doesn't have a BKB, and I think that actually is the build that Gabby usually likes to go.
Okay. Well, we'll see here. Level 4 on XXS. Ninja Boogie just sort of harrying him along the way.
Oh, I like how they placed this defensive ward on the side of TNC in their jungle. Since they saw the the Puck, the Lich, and the Sven make their way bottom for that rune, they're probably like, oh yeah, they're trying to get an invasion play into our jungle. They put a ward down. They actually see Baboka this whole time just walking around. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pinging him out even. Maybe expecting that he went in and put a ward down, but they did see him not have one initially.
Well, and so he's going to head down to the south side. Rear might be aware that this is happening now as well. Looks like camp wasn't stacked, but there was at least a troll camp there that they're trying to clear through as the wave was pulled to it.
It was stacked before that 8-minute mark. It was just a double stack that Siler farmed, and then it respawned. He's not farming it again.
But already, I mean, this is an 8-minute Vlad's on the Beastmaster. He's having a good time for himself.
Yeah, and Armel too. He's been efficient jungling, right? Puck's been moving around a bit. Lover is level 7. Armel is level 9.5. And he's been leaving the lane as well, so he's been giving his Tiny or giving whomever the lane. It was Tim's for a little bit.
Yeah, now, I mean, Rior very comfortable with this, so he can make moves if his team needs him to. Has the double boar here, but Boboka in the area means that it's not an easy gank at all.
And the best thing about having Beastmaster in this game is Beastmaster is overall an excellent hero, but you're going to have a tinker with bots.
Yeah.
Pretty early in this game. So the playmaking is going to be accelerated very heavily. You can just look to set up roars, and he's always going to have a +1.
And Jaboogie, the Radiant scan, they know that there are still at least one hero back in this area, and it's just XXS on the Darkseer.
Tim's just tanking the tower and using all 5 hits on it. That's not something you see all the time from a support Tiny. As Gabby will just farm that stacked camp as well, since he does have his Morbid Mask. Can do that fully sustained.
Yeah, and going for the full Lincoln's build, it looks like. Not wanting to have to deal with the pressure coming from the Lift, or rather from the Sinister Gaze or the Stormbolt.
Yeah. Lincoln's into Ethereal Blade. He likes this build. So Gabby do it a lot.
All right, Dream Coil used. Rior, nowhere left to go really. Summons a little bit more gold for these heroes to take. And the lift up from Ninja Boogie, but nothing doing.
Yeah, they even used the meta. They probably had the kill without it, but Siler wants to claim this tower. So he's like, whatever, I'm metaing, and we're taking this tier 1. So we'll see if TNC does actually want to respond to it, as Armel is 40 gold from his Boots of Travel, and he has max level March, so he definitely could look to set up down bottom to stop this push.
Yeah, and they actually glyphed the wave there, so that way it'd take a little bit longer for those creeps to get in, and Jaboogie.
Gotta watch out, though. The Puck is making the rotation down already.
This is a scary moment here. They're bringing in absolutely everybody, and this is a big moment for Aster. Armel's going to start to get the marches working and still living through this as Tim's Avalanche toss, and they kill off the Puck. A big moment. They do manage to take down that tower, but it comes at the cost of the Puck's life.
And they're going to lose their Sven probably here.
Roar used same time as the stun. The little boars are going to get it, and one more punch from Rior claims the kill.
Man, boar hit so hard.
Yeah,
Every time I just see it poking, I'm just like, oh my god.
Well, and he has a stout shield too.
Yeah.
I guess he probably didn't get the proc, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
But still.
But like, even with like the little Vlad's aura plus the inner beast, it hits so hard. It hits so hard and fast. So 3K gold lead, like you said, Aster, they claim the tower, but now TNC have their own catapult, and they've got the board. They're looking. And with the toss.
They get him into the fray and trying to find the kill. Not quite going to be there. Toss? Maybe if there was one more punch from the Rubik, it would have been enough. But regardless, the stun comes out now from Boboka. Ninja Boogie is finally going to be punished. They use the coil, hits onto Tim's as well. And meanwhile, the battle up on the north side, they lose the Beastmaster too. Although with Armel showing up, that does make sure that Aster can't commit for Tim's.
All right, maybe they hold off the tower push and they get themselves 2 nice kills.
At the same time, Gabby is pushing for the tier 1 top, and I don't think that anybody can come and TP to defend this now.
No, and he's, like the panel had mentioned, if a Morphling gets a good start versus the Darkseer, they can just leave him. He's fine up there. He's got the sustain 2 from the Morbid Mask, and he can just turn into Darkseer if he ever feels a risk and surge himself away, or Iron Shell, push the wave in even more and get more farm. He's a very farmed Morphling.
Well, the smoke up now, trying to find Gabby.
They got to slow him down somehow.
This is a dangerous moment for him. Sinister Gaze, they pull him in, need to chain the stuns, but do they have enough damage? No, he's able to get that wand charge off, and now the movement to the low ground. Gabby gets out.
Limited, disabled. They need the Puck there. I think anytime they want to go for those hunts, you need Lover. Puck is a very good hero at hunting Morphling, because you're sitting usually around, like we saw there, right? 600, 500, 400 HP, whatever it can be.
Yeah.
Morphling, or Puck's 2 spells are enough to control you and also just bring you down. Also has gone for the Veil build first. So benefiting his Lich and his own spells, but will delay his Blink Dagger, so the initiation will be a little bit limited there for Aster.
Armel, there's the lift up from Ninja Boogie, the roar as well, and well, they are going to be able to walk away for the moment, but with the toss and with the missiles, they stop the D-push, and actually going to pop the Metamorphosis there as well for the Terrorblade. I don't know what the thought was. He might have already had it popped, actually. No, that was for that defense, I guess.
Yeah, he had just popped it. Because maybe they thought that they could try to take a fight with the Darkseer wrapping around, but now it's just going to be a meta to farm the jungle. TNC so far, it's 6-5, relatively even kill score, but they're getting a whole lot out of the map. A whole lot more out of the map in comparison to Aster in their farm.
And, I mean, you think about, again, what the panel was talking about. This is a lineup that is incredibly greedy with the Tinker and the Morphling, and they're coming out ahead just out of the laning stage.
Exactly. It's absolutely huge for them. Tinker is known as one of the bigger counters to Terrorblade, not only just because of you're able to always burst, it's just the burst damage from Tinker, you're always able to always match the split push that comes out from these illusions, right? Yeah. Terrorblade's annoying because you're cutting waves. Tinker can respond always with bots.
Well, again, 14 minutes, and looks like it's going to be a regen rune in the bottom side, but Tinker and Gabby both farming out the jungle. This is the part that's maybe a little bit strange about it is obviously both of these cores want this farm.
Yeah.
Might put yourself more at risk, and it is a 3-person smoke now. This time they bring the puck.
They need to bring the
on
puck
Aster.
They need to bring the pucks for the ganks. It's the damage. Like Sven and Lich, they don't really provide the damage unless there's 2 heroes. If there's 2 heroes, then you get a Chain Frost. Bam, Lich is the best. But if it's only one, you need your puck. That's your damage in this lineup.
Oh no! And the Hawk is going to scout out Sylar just barely as they go forward with this smoke. If they're able to blow up this Terrorblade right here, and it seems like Sylar realizes something is happening.
Yeah,
like,
he knows.
The smoke down bottom didn't hit anybody, and that reveals, okay, they're probably ganking me.
Yep. As BSJ would say, that is the dead lane, the dead area. Yeah. But no, exactly. The smoke goes bottom, they see nobody. You don't want to be playing in your own jungle at that point. Play on the safer side, on the high ground, on the right side of this jungle. And that means that TNC is going to be able to claim this tower top at a much faster pace than bottom, because Terrorblade's jungling, and the other 4 heroes don't really hit buildings.
So are we going to have the dead jungle now? Is that the new meme? Is that what's happening?
Maybe. Don't ask me, you got to ask Brian.
Shout outs to Brian, auto chess god. All right, tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. Looks like Aster going to get it.
All right, God Strength is, that's a little bit something, right?
Yeah.
We'll be able to get it here.
I thought maybe the Tinker would have come to go in, but instead, it is TNC moving into the Roche pit.
All right, they've got the Vlads, and they've got more than enough sustain. They've got the Lincolns ready for Gabby. This is a free Roche. No way Aster makes it.
The ping's coming out. That was the Tinker pinging, and he is going to add his little marches to the fray as well. Just ensuring that TNC are going to be able to secure this one for themselves. And, I mean, a 16-minute Roche for this Morphling, that's big.
Yeah, I mean, Lover's 2-1-1 in the puck, but you have to feel the pressure. You want to be making moves on this puck to try to slow down or catch this Tinker, catch this Morphling. But it's already 16 minutes, and he hasn't been able to do so.
Think about like how that last gank went against Gabby, where they were almost able to kill before also, and it was set up with the single target disables. Now Morphling has the Lincolns.
Yeah. They really need Lover to get involved to try to get some of these pickoffs. But now you're versus an Aegis, and yeah, TNC, they're fine with, like we said, they're okay with playing the late game. Sure, Aster, they have the potential of with the wall, if it catches on the illusion, and the Terrorblade could be doing a lot, but yeah, TNC's fine taking it late steam.
So it is another 4-person smoke up. They're going to head into the jungle, the live jungle, but nobody is there.
It's all farmed already. So they know that they could be in the area, though.
Oh, and yeah, and actually Terrorblade is in between the tier 1 and the tier 2 on the right-hand side of the map, but looks like he is just going to send that illusion up. My God, TNC are going in super deep for this, and they will spot out Bulbaka.
They're feeling strong. That's why they just want to catch anybody that shows in too far forward of a spot.
They did see that Terrorblade illusion underneath that smoke. And TB.
They know they're there. They're pinging them out now. They saw the boar.
They back out. They'll get the D ward here, it looks like.
The Hawk is scouting Sylar, moving over toward that mid lane. First, they're going to address their lanes. That's the nice thing is, like, TNC doesn't really have to address all his lanes because Armel can always do it. But Morphling wants to be able to get some of his farm too, not just coming from jungle creeps.
It's got to be said, like, how nice that vision is that you get from the boar, like scouting out ganks beforehand or, you know, just anticipating where a fight's going to be. You can just pop one right at the start of it.
Yeah, I mean, boar and hawk are... the new hawk is just... It's just crazy. It's just invisible, and it's so tanky. The biggest thing for me is, like, when you're playing a support and you find the hawk, you're like... You just run from it now because you're like, I can't kill it. It's got 750 HP and 5 armor.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. It's a mighty hawk.
Yeah, you put a sentry down, you're like, oh god, they're making a play around here. Peace.
Well, speaking of making a play, Gabby going to push out this wave. The Radiant scan, realize, yeah, absolutely, everybody is there. Although, are they going to try and defend against this? As it looks like TNC have shown up in this lane in force.
This is much slower pace game than we've had this morning.
Yeah.
Most of them have had quite a lot of kills. This is only 6-5 in 1830.
But the thing that's crazy is it's a 6,000 gold lead. Like,
yeah.
It feels as if TNC are just completely dominating this game with their movement, with their farming.
I mean, it's 6,000 gold lead and also 6,000 experience. Like, they're just distributing their resources well. And, I mean, Armel being able to do the jungle thing freely, not getting contested at all. He farmed so many camps and gave his supports the lanes.
Yeah.
He's going to be a big problem for this Tower Blade, Sylar, who is keeping up in the net worth, but it's just him. And we've seen quite a few times about these 4 Protect 1s, what can end up happening if it's just a Tower Blade versus the world.
And Gabby saying, you know, come and deal with me. They throw out the stun, force him back. There is still some counter pressure going on. You talked about it, the Terror Blade and the puck. But with those 2 heroes not in the base right now, Gabby is just taking this tier 3 tower. They don't have an answer as of yet. And Lover, he does throw out the Illusory Orb. The blink away yet again. But with Tinker marching, spamming out those rockets, Aster are hard-pressed to deal with this.
We haven't seen XXS even like attempt to throw out a wall or anything. When we were watching Faith Beyond, he was not afraid to just throw the wall down. If people were pushing, people were committing Roche, he's just like, I don't care, wall. He's not been doing it. He's looking for the combo in the majority of these times, and they're losing their tier 3. They're going for a big wraparound, but Rax is being hit, and marches are being laid down.
Aster's going to have to try and break high ground here as they go forward and already able to get the roar to interrupt. Sylar jumps forward. There's going to be the Ava toss. The Chain Frost bouncing pretty good with the vacuum in the wall already down, but Gabby is still living through this. It looks like with Darkseer dead, but also losing the Tiny and the Beastmaster, it might be enough here, but they did just lose the Sven as well. So a trade-off of 2 for 2. But it's the tier 3 tower down.
Yeah, tier 3 tower got completely taken, and half health on the Rax too. That was a very good combination of skills, right? They land a 2-man coil, then they can just throw the Chain Frost on top, and it's going to bounce between all these targets.
So it does end up working out that wraparound, but still you can see TNC are not afraid.
No,
They're sticking around this area.
It worked, right? It gets them an experience out of those kills because they are an XP deficit, but the gold, it just continues to rise for TNC because they're like, okay, we killed a tier 3. Gabby can hit shrines. He can kill this enemy shrine, while Armel just goes and farms out the rest of the side lanes of the map, and his other supports kind of take lanes too.
And they did just reclaim that Aegis. You can see Tinker all over the place here.
Yeah.
It's just been controlling the map. But the other thing to keep in mind is that, you know, with Beastmaster respawning and moving back into position, Armel pushing out the creep waves, they can come back and do this again if they wanted to.
They don't have to wait for ultis. That's the difference. Is we look at meta. I mean, meta's not an ulti, I know, but it's pretty much the ulti. 70 seconds left on that one. TNC doesn't have to wait for ultimates. Here they go again.
Another Illusory Orb thrown out to slow down this push, but it's only for a second, and Gabby pushes through that wave. Gonna go claim another shrine.
Yeah, claim the map control. Look, we see and say so much, right? Suffocate. Keep your farm just that much higher, and you're going to be able to do that really well as a Tinker, as I was mentioning before, like versus Tower Blade. TB, a lot of your farm that you get as a TB is because you're illusion split pushing, but versus Tinker, it's much harder.
Terror Blade does pick up the Lincolns.
Okay, so you can block that roar
and
that lift, the 2 important instant disables. But he doesn't have like a Scotty or something, right? For like a chase or for that power. It's just a little bit more defensive.
That's going to be an Ag Scepter done. Ninja Boogie lift up onto one. Stolen Coil, not bad. Going to force out the break there as Puck going to get stunned afterwards. It looks like they are going to be able to back out.
I mean, Coil's used.
Yeah.
TNC has everything, but now Sylar will have meta available again.
Another Avatos just clearing through that creep wave. Bottom lane is pushing for Aster.
But they've got a tanker. Yeah.
Exactly.
They can always just take care of it.
Yeah. Doesn't want to be careful a little bit that he doesn't get caught out if there was like a big smoke move or something like that.
Yep.
But it's a smoke instead from TNC as they go as 4.
They just finished up the E-Blade of the Morphling. And they get a scan, hit successfully.
So they have an idea, an inkling of where Aster are at.
Who's going to be the one? Is it going to be Lich to eat the gank?
He drops down the ward. They see that their sentry was just taken down, so they know that somebody is in this area. And now the Tiny revealed, and, well, the Lich couldn't stand a chance. Ooh, we get the morph duration as well.
Yeah.
We pretty much consistently see on that hero.
I love both of the morph abilities. Morph targets allies in this game probably not as good, obviously, but in some situations it can be. The morph duration one is just so nice because it's got like a 5-second downtime between you not having it. You need to get that ability. Lets you do much more fun with your playstyle too, because you can just play as 2 heroes.
I gotta say, this is like the slowest 10,000 net worth lead that I've seen, and just in terms of the pace of the game, it's remained steady throughout.
Yeah, and the experience is now continuing to go up there too. It's both. TNC is just doing a great job of controlling the map and only allowing Terrorblade to farm. Puck not able to really get a whole lot. Neither is the Darkseer. And this is, yeah, it's a pretty strong TNC duel. I mean, it's like a dual core versus this TB, and
Sylar needs to be careful. If they coil and snap it on him, there's the jump forward. Avatos, it's full combination, but is it going to be enough? The E-Blade wasn't quite able to kill. They wanted to pull him outside of range, and they able to get the Sunder off. And now the turnaround with Reflection. TB is hitting himself, and now this Tinker is going to go absolutely wild. Gabby finding himself almost another kill, not able to phase shift that one. Now Gabby switching back over into the Puck already. All of Aster is so freaking low, and Sylar, is he going to fall? Barely getting away the toss. He tossed the freaking illusion. Oh, Timms, you beautiful man.
Oh my God, he almost ends up like surviving through all that because the coil comes out on Gabby and he can't actually burst him, but now Aster, they don't have Terrorblade, they've used everything, there's no meta. This should be the racks for TNC. They've got more than enough health and sustain with Armel coming in and healing people with the bottle constantly too. See Gabby getting bottled up there from the Tinker.
Easy peasy in that fashion, and gonna move over towards the mid tier 3 tower as well.
I felt like they had pinged that high ground too when Fenrir died, saying like, oh, they have a ward here. And then Sylar just went and farmed there afterwards anyway. That was very risky positioning there for Aster and gets punished. TNC just cruising it through this game.
I thought Timms was going to go for the toss to break the coil, but I think that he was worried about not finding him potentially or something.
I thought so too. They almost had him anyway, even before, but he gets stunned and they still can kill him. Because that was them, 4 people surrounding them, and then Armel comes in when the fight was already looking kind of TNC favored anyway, and then Armel just comes in and like 3 or 4 rockets. Solidifies the victory.
In the words of Tinker, pew pew pew.
Yep. Indeed. Level
Roche
20 already too.
Back up in 30 seconds. And a 17,000 net worth lead. And I don't know whether it's a mixture of just not having anything to do, or it just feels like all of the moves that Aster has made have not been able to do anything this game.
They just haven't, I feel like I haven't really seen them been trying to make too many moves, to be honest. Like the Puck and the Darkseer feel like they're the ones that need to really make the moves, because Terrorblade wants to farm, but the only ganks that we saw was like that one from like the Lich and the Sven, and then Puck tried once bottom, didn't find anybody, and it's just been like a farm game, and TNC just always being able to have either great wards and vision down, having a Hawk down to scout where Aster's moving, or Aster just not making the gank.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, the only one that I can think about is that Lich Sven rotation that didn't do anything.
The other ones were the smoke bottom that caught a Tiny.
Yep.
And then a smoke that got red, and they didn't actually catch anybody. So, I mean, TNC's movement around the map has been just far superior to Aster's.
Timms is just throwing trees at the Terrorblade.
Yeah, they have got this. They had like the deep ward down, so they were able to watch the movements from Aster coming out of the base, and now it's Aegis and Cheese.
So 17,000, 18,000 net worth lead, 19,000. It just keeps going up. Can't stop it here as we're getting ready for what feels like it could be close to one final push unless something miraculous happens here.
Yep, pretty much. I don't see Yeah, I mean, TNC, if Aster was on even grounds, the fights could be good, but TNC with advantage are just going to crush them in these fights, especially if the Tinker's not found. I think the Darks are in the puck, they have to just blink and find this Tinker in the back lines and just try to get these combos on him, because if Armel's in the back free to cast, it's going to be really tough for this Terrorblade, for Sylar, who does not have a BKB. Nor is he going for one.
Oh, God. I mean, by the same token, you feel like, okay, we need the damage to be able to win the fight, and if you don't win the fight, you need the BKB to win the fight. Sylar, oh, God, Sylar, no. Avalanche. He said it. He doesn't have a BKB. They managed to find that toss. The roar follow-up, lifting up on the Darks here, trying to kill him off the Sunder. It does manage to go off there in the end, and Rior immediately going to be back up to full HP. Chain Frost bouncing a little bit. Doesn't look like it's doing quite enough damage, though. And now Tim's chasing forward for the Sven, while Gabby tries to just jump inside their base. And it's going to square off against Puck.
Arcane Rune Morph.
I mean, they can wait afterward if they want to for this Metamorphosis to be down.
God, it was so close to them bursting Sylar, but the Ethereal Blade actually, him having that Ethereal form, they didn't have enough magic damage to finish it off since the Tinker wasn't there. But now, look at this, just the Rockets alone.
Oh my God. Over and over, the missile strikes are landing on Team Aster, and the jump forward, God Strength as well. Gabby brought down low vacuum wall. They burned through the Aegis. This is looking kind of decent here for Aster, finally making a move. But Gabby's going to be able to waveform out now. Armel jumps in a second round. He's going for the Sunder. He is able to find it on Sylar. Now the chase forward for more. Actually, this Tinker is out of mana as well, so looks like with the Rubik going down, Aster hold.
Yep, pretty good defense there, having to use absolutely everything, though. You had to just run in and try to get this like combo, right? The vacuum into the Stormbolt didn't connect at the most perfection, but they had the wall that landed right on top of the Morphling.
Yeah.
Which is, as we said, very important when you're behind, because the Morphling's going to hurt himself the most.
Well, and you did mention it. It was the Metamorphosis used as well as that wall, and there's not that many cooldowns on TNC. The downside is that they won't have an Aegis, but could potentially be an opening here for them if they wanted to try and push the tempo yet again.
They used the cheese too, right? I'm pretty sure I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
Yeah, it was used as well. Yep. Now they do have another big item, though. Like, they're still continuing to scale quite heavily. The BKB was finished on the Morph in that last fight, of course. We'll be going for that Scotty, but a full Hex now for Armel.
Oh,
no
Fenrir.
defensive items again.
God.
So life of a support versus Ethereal versus Shotgun Morphling.
Oh. Yeah, Shotgun, Morphling, and Tinker in this game.
Yeah.
He'll buy back. How long will he survive, though? Still a little while longer. 30 seconds until Metamorphosis. You've got 10 seconds until Wall. What can they get done in that time? Gabby going to switch over into the Sven. Turns to fight. Avalanche toss. Every damn thing thrown out onto him. And Rook able to steal Warcry. They force out the Glyph.
Oh, look at that. He's Sven, and they stole Warcry. So they're going to have Warcry and then another Warcry because of the Rubik afterwards.
Oh, hard to deal with. The second Warcry comes out, and now the waveform away. Their barracks are already gone.
Yep, they're just pushing them away at the Rockets as Gabby's able to hit that one cleanly. And like we were mentioning, TNC didn't have to wait for cooldowns, while Aster did. They were not prepared just yet.
Yeah, really good timing. They get out of there once they know that Metamorphosis is back off cooldown. And of course, after they claimed the barracks, it's a Terrorblade, MKB done.
Spent his gold, has queued up Satanic. How close is he to that? How close is he to buyback?
This guy doesn't want to buy BKB.
Yeah, 800 to buyback. Yeah, he really doesn't. Guess because there's like the Beastmaster role, he doesn't really want to build that because he's going to just get roared through it, but definitely going to need it at some point versus this Tinker.
Yeah. I guess there is the argument that if you can hold out to the super duper late game, you're going to have a fresh 10-second BKB.
Yep.
That might be 20 minutes after the game is over, but you know, 19,000 net worth lead, 31 minutes in. Gabby moving forward, finding Sylar.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Manta. All right. He's good. He's cool. And there it was, that morph triggering the Lincolns on the illusion. Reflection. The rocket spam is going to be painful for Aster.
Yeah, and it's not like usually that's because of awards. You see they have the sentry down, but it's a Hawk that's there, keeping the vision constantly for those Rockets.
Yeah, they drop down a secondary ward, so that way...
Oh, man. Tim's is just throwing fireworks.
Tim's
oh, no, that's Baboka now, too.
Literally styling.
It's both of them. It's Baboka and Tim's.
Oh, Chinese New Year's coming early here.
And Jaboogie has now stun. This is a very solid steal. Anytime you can get a disable.
Tim's daring them to come any closer. Oh, taking that Storm Hammer
The
dispels.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot to dispel in this one.
When they steal Warcry, it's preemptive.
Oh, the toss out. They tossed out
Oh,
XXS.
God. That's a problem. Dead does have buyback. Is maybe going to need to use it here if there's a full commitment. And Sven lifted up. They're going to buy back on that Darkseer. Now Gabby very far forward. They're able to find that coil. But the BKB comes out. A double kill for Gabby. This man has been so dangerous on this Morphling. Eats the Chain Frost. Back out. And they're ready to reset with the exception of the BKB.
They just never have to back away from this ground. Now they know meta's used from Sylar. Wait for the meta to wear off, and then we can go straight into the high ground, because all our lanes are just constantly pushing in anyway. Tames is actually just looking for a toss back already.
God. He's a little crazy, but then again, he's also a tiny. He's so tanky, and he has that Ethereal Blade. Meanwhile, the jump
roar.
forward, able to find the roar. Blow up Sylar. He's gone. Buyback comes immediately. Where's the rest of the answer there? The wall is already dropped, but the secondary wall was dropped by the Rubik afterwards, and Gabby just lays into Bobuka, able to take him down. A secondary vacuum coming from Gabby because he's also the Darkseer. Now the chase forward, the triple kill. He wants blood. He wants everything. Ultra
Rampage.
kill for Gabby. Give that man a rampage, and maybe another one. GG called. TNC do it.
TNC did it with an excellent fashion from start to finish of this game. It seemed like Aster had no moves. Well, they had some moves, but they couldn't find them. They tried with the Lich Sven the one time. They tried with the Puck to make the rotation bottom, but they never found any success. TNC were doing a great job of keeping their waves always forced out, so they knew the movements were coming from Aster, and they played this one, I mean, very, very controlled.
And this is TNC moving on in this tournament. Aster, a team that's gone through a lot of changes. You think back to, the first half of the first major when they're playing with D-Stones and ended up showing up kind of well again, but they get knocked out again in the best-of-1 elimination matchups. A tough time for them with their new mid player.
Yeah, he didn't really have the most successful puck game. He didn't find the ganks that they needed for him. He went for the Veil early, which I felt like kind of hindered him to try to find those ganks, because Tinker free-farmed, Gabby free-farmed. They just were not under any pressure to all these two heroes. I mean, it's a 2-0-13 on the Tinker, and it's 12-0-3 on the Morphling. So they never really under any pressure. They just were able to farm and control the map, and then they just took it to Aster.
Yeah, so solid performance from Gabby. To me, one of the standout players. I think that everybody had a really solid game, though, across the board for TNC.
It was crisp and well executed.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it here for the best-of-1 bloodbath that we had this morning. Still more to come in just a few. We're going to be moving on to the best-of-3s, but first, back to the panel, see what they thought about that series.